Hello friends, it's Jim O'Rear. Thanks for joining me for episode 17 of Collectibles From My Closet. And on today's episode, we are going to focus on Todd McFarlane's monsters. And like everything with Todd McFarlane's career, it can all be traced back to his comic book series Spawn, which he launched in 1992. Now, Spawn was so popular that Mattel approached McFarlane and asked him if he would be interested in doing a line of Spawn toys with them. And as meetings went on, McFarlane became very underwhelmed with Mattel because McFarlane wanted to create really detailed toys that could be enjoyed by both adults and kids, and Mattel, not so much. So, McFarlane decided in 1994 to create his own toy company called McFarlane Toys. And he started out with toys like this, primarily focusing on really highly detailed toys of Spawn. Look at that. Ooh. Ooh. This is a beautiful figure of Spawn. But it didn't take him long to branch out into the world of horror. And in 1997, he created a line called Todd McFarlane's Monsters Playsets. And it was his opportunity to reimagine the classic Universal monsters and put his own vision and spin on them. And the first series, he came out with 4 classic Universal monsters. Series 2 came out in 1998, where he did a few more of his own spin on the monsters. And then in 2002, he decided to take his Universal Monster vision in a different direction. So he changed the name of the line to just McFarlane's Monsters and released a Series 3 under that name. And that went on to just spawn more and more series. But this video is going to primarily focus on just the first 3 series of toys, the Todd McFarlane Monsters Playsets and the first line of McFarlane's Monsters. So let's take a look at these really, really cool toys. We're going to hit the ground running here with the Dracula playset. And as you see here, it's a really neat setup. I've got them all compacted here together. And ignore the dust because these have been on my shelf since they were released way back when. But you'll notice that it's a very stylized version of Dracula. It's a neat little diorama sort of display here that you can stand him up in. Got a bat over here on a tomb. Coffin, the cemetery gates over here that has spider webs on them. So it's a really neat looking playset just sitting there. Now let's look at the playability of it. This is where it comes into appealing to kids as well as adults. And you'll see Drac here, who looks like he's Hunchback of Dracula. But you'll see he's got a little hole right here in his chest, and that's so you can stake him if you're playing and you want to kill Dracula. And I'll show you, I keep a stake here in the coffin where it's close by. And just take a look at this coffin. And even the coffin is really detailed. You can see the grains of wood that were put in there, the emblem on there. And then this opens up, and when it opens up, you'll see inside that, even the inside is detailed with the padded cushioning, or what looks like padded cushioning. You've got one of Dracula's weapons, so when he goes into Vlad the Impaler mode, he can hack up villagers with his axe. And here's the little stake I was telling you about. Let me get that out of here. If we go back to Dracula, if you're playing and I am Von Helsing, ha ha ha, you can take this stake and just stake Dracula right there in the heart. Oh, that hurts. Oh, and look, I'm like Mr. Hands and Mr. Bill. Oh no. Okay, anyway, that's what that's some of the playability there. See, I get carried away. I talk about it's playable for kids. No, it's playable for adults as well. And you see, it's a very stylized bat that you've got here. This kind of little bat monster that hangs on the tomb and is also posable. And the tomb itself is pretty cool. it opens up. You can put Dracula actually in the tomb right there. Stands on a little thing. If you had the old like Star Trek play sets from a long time ago that spun and you could like the transporter, same idea. And it's got Vlad Dracula the Impaler right there as a little plaque on the tomb. So lots of really neat details, lots of fun playability, and it sets up in a really cool display. Now, the next one in the Season 1 set is the Wolfman. And as you can see, it's another cool display. It just looks cool sitting there if you have it on a shelf, which mine has been on, and again, is dusty. But I love this Wolfman because it looks a lot like the wolves from Dog Soldiers. I love that movie, Dog Soldiers, and this reminds me a whole lot of that. And he's just standing up here on the rock next to a tree, and you see look at the detail in the tree even. I mean, all those little lines and layerings, and just really cool for a plastic toy. And then you've got a hunter that has been just mangled to pieces, and if we look a little closer at him, you can see he's missing his arms and legs because that's the way I like him. I just did Casey and the Sunshine Band for some reason. I don't know. But he's got all the little pieces here. You can put his arms and legs back on if you want and destroy him. He's got his gun right there. And he's got a hat right back here. I've got the hat actually sort of attached to the rock. But there's his hat, and it comes off, and he can wear it, or it also attaches to a pack on his back as well. And sort of like the Dracula playset with the revolving door, this has a door on the tree. So you can have the tree closed and hide bodies in it, or you can display it like I do, with the tree open and the body hanging out of it like it's just fallen out, like a Friday the 13th victim reveal. Da, da, da! Now, they made a Hunchback set. I do not have the Hunchback set, but I'm going to show you a picture of it, what it looks like. I'm not a huge fan of Hunchback, and I'm not a huge fan of this sculpt. So I didn't get this one, but it's a neat looking little set. I feel like Hunchback. Now these are my favorites though. Now I'm going to show you the Series 1 and Series 2 together because they are meant to be interchangeable and connect. This is from the Series 1 set, and you'll see that the Frankenstein doctor here is also a monster, and we know from the movie and the book that the real monster of the story is the doctor. And then when you look at the monster himself here, it's really sort of it's kind of a traditional monster, knowing that this is McFarlane's new re-envisioning of it, but it's really a classical, traditional looking monster there on the slab. And you notice the bookshelf and little vials and things back there to add to the details. I love this. I love this piece. It's super detailed. It looks really neat. He's got little accessories you can swap out in his hands there to play and hack up and build monsters. And down here, the monster has another arm. He's got a head that can swap out where you can see his brain. There's lots of little pieces that you can lose and your kids can choke on, like you see here. There's a brain, I don't know, I may have lost it. It's probably on my shelf still. There's a brain that goes in that head, too. Now, if we look at, and that was a final figure in the Series 1 set. Now, we're going to move on to Series 2 and start with the Series 2 Frankenstein. And you see this this doctor is much more human, although he's very robotic. He's some type of, machine man. A couple little accessories there that you can use. Got some guts on the table. This monster, though, is much more stylized. You can see it's a two-headed monster laying up here on the slab, and this has a lot of little pieces and things too. You can lose like more little test tubes and vials that sit here on the shelves, and your kids can choke on those as well. Now let's just get the monster here and look at him a little bit. You see this two-headed. One of them looks like the Thing from Fantastic Four, right there on the right. When you look at the back, I like the back because he has two spines. That's my favorite part of him, right there. And notice under there's like little columns that I have stored. This is meant to sit up high. Those are little columns that this whole piece sits up on. So it actually sits much higher. This moves up and down as well, so you can move the monster on the slab. But I like to keep it sitting down on the ground next to the other piece, so they're about the same level with each other. But it does look cool on the little platform standing up as well. So that is a look at the two Frankenstein playsets from Series 1, Series 2. Those are my favorite out of the line. Now, I'm continuing with the Series 2 playsets. I did not get this one. This is the Mummy. I'm not a huge fan of the Mummy, and I do actually like this figure, though. I like the cartoony version of it, because he does look like a cartoon, and I really do like the display that he stands on. I just didn't get that one for some reason. I did, however, get the Creature from the Black Lagoon, because that's an all-time favorite monster of mine. And this McFarlane Reimagining is ultra cool. It's very reptilian and human at the same time. The details are incredible. Look at all the little scales and the gills and the fins, and just a lot of really neat details. You also get a diver right here, and his arm's been half chewed off. That little knife is not going to do much good. And then up here above the water, you see, neat little detail. Got the murky swamp there. There's a sinking boat that the diver was originally on and now is in the water. So a few more little details and playability with this play set. If we get the diver right here, you'll see that his helmet comes off, and you can play with him on land as well. And it looks like the creature got his hair, though. I don't know what's up with the hair. But you can play with him on land, out of the water, take the helmet off. There's the little knife I was talking about. We'll put that back on him here. And then if we get the boat out of the water, this diver actually has another arm. Here it is. I keep it inside the boat. You can attach that to him if you want him to be pre-bitten without the blood. And the boat is pretty cool because this is a neat little detail. The wheel turns. I don't know why I like that. I just do. And this is fun as well. The little harpoon gun. If you notice here when I pull on this, there's a spring in it. It's spring action, and you can shoot the monster. Look, I'm gonna pew! Oh, bounced off. The monster must have used like his force field, his force shield or something. Cause look, Ma, no damage to the monster. Now this one is a really fun one. It's the Phantom of the Opera. And you'll notice that the sculpt on the Phantom's face is nothing to be proud about. It looks like it's just somebody took a lump of clay and sort of squished it a little bit. But the detailing in the rest of the piece and everything else really makes up for that for me. Especially the huge pipe organ here, and the base that he's standing on. It has the little footlights, opera footlights there. Then if you go up here, you've got the chandelier that figures into the story, and then this is Raoul. I think his name is Raoul. I'm not sure. I think it's Raoul. It says Opera House up there. Nice little detail added there in the balcony seating around Raoul. I guess that's him. So let's take a look at a few other little details here that you can play with in this set. Now, the Phantom, he does have a sword that comes out that he can hold and have sword fights with Raoul, if that is his real name. He's Raoul now. Whether that's his name or not, he's Raoul. He has a couple of masks also. This is, I guess, his everyday mask that he would wear around and lounge about in. And then he has a second mask down here that I'm assuming would probably be like his Mask of the Red Death when he decided to get all formal and dress up and terrorize the party. And it makes him a goat, I guess. So Goat of the Red Death. But that's kind of a neat little thing. You can change his mask. I love that little chandelier there. Okay, so let's look at Raoul, if that is your real name. And you notice that the sculpt and the details on Raoul are actually better than the Phantom. And look at that sword. That's some huge sword. That's what she said. Sorry, but he's pretty cool. He's a neat little additional piece there that you can fight the Phantom with. Now let's move on to Series 3. Series 3 is where McFarlane went in a different direction and became much more serious and left the playsets behind, changed the name to McFarlane Monsters, and one of those is another creature from the Black Lagoon. And you'll notice that it's much more horrific, serpent-like, but the same incredible detail. Now, you don't get as much playability out of this because it's really just meant to sort of sit on a shelf and look cool. You can, move the arms around a little bit, but that's about it. The rest is just neat detail, and a lot of detail it is. If you notice, there are all the little lines and coloring and things like that. Now, if we look at the few little extras that we have here, let's look at the back. You haven't seen the back yet because I like this tail. So kind of neat little tail there. You don't see that often because I keep it this way on my shelf. But this is my favorite little accessory, and it's just like a random human head. I don't know. I don't know why. I guess it's just somebody that he killed. But I like, when I put it on my shelf, I like to kind of pose his arm and have him holding the head in his hand like that. And then it comes with these other two little things. It comes with a knife, which I guess the guy that he's holding the head of tried to fight him with. Yeah, that was stupid. And this little pulley that goes with the fishing ropes and stuff like that. Nothing that you can play with, but just something else to lay there and look cool. Now, this is another one that I did not get. This is the Voodoo Queen, and I didn't like her. She's not a monster to me. I like the monsters, and this is just a woman that was not monster-like at all. But I guess she's cool if you like Voodoo Queens. But I like monsters. So let's go back to the monsters. And here is his take on the Wolfman for Series 3. And I really like this. It got mixed reviews. Some people hate it. I really like it because it reminds me a lot of John Carpenter's The Thing, and the figures of The Thing that were made. Look at the detail in this. All the little lines and the shadings and the layering. And if I can keep it in focus here, the details are incredible in this, but really look like the work that was done on the Thing figures, and look at all that dust too. So if we look here, look, there's kind of a regular foot, and there's a Thing like foot, but super detailed. I don't really care for the robotics and stuff that he's added into it. You know, the pipe coming out of the head and stuff like that. But I do appreciate the details in the piece overall. We spin it around here. You can see more detailing in the back. He's got his Daisy Duke shorts on right there. Look at that ass. And then he's got another wolf head coming out of his back, which is another kind of shadings of John Carpenter's The Thing and the toys that they made out of that. So I really like him a lot because I like the Wolfman anyway, but because it just reminds me so much of The Thing. And John Carpenter's The Thing is one of my all-time favorite horror films. Now, I didn't get the Mummy from the Playsets, but I did get this one. He's much more horrific than the previous Mummy that he released, which looked like a cartoon character. But the detail in this is really cool. Look at that. It's really got the skeleton coming out from all the bandages, the necklace, and look at the detail in the bandages and the mixture of skin and bone and blood. It's just really neat, and he's really posable. He's got a lot of joint movement. Comes with a little weapon there, and down here he's also got this. I don't even know what you call that, but it's a headdress anyway that he probably would have been buried in. That comes with him. And look at the detail in this. Even, I mean, the amount of color and the sculpt and all the little detailed lines, and I mean, a lot of work really in that. So a little bit of playability here. You can remove this little axe that he can fight other monsters with, I guess, and just go chop 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 chop, and move him around. Like I said, he's got a lot of different poses. But this I wanted to show you. This is what his headdress looks like when it goes on, and it just sort of slides over his head there. And look, there's a special little penis protector that goes right there as well. I'm guessing. I don't for his skeleton penis, maybe. I don't know. And it does have a couple other little accessories here. He does come with another weapon, and I actually kind of like this weapon better just because of the blood on it. There's a lot of blood on there, and also it comes with a cobra, and this cobra is bendable. You can wrap it around him. You can hold on to it. You can put it on the ground next to him as part of the display. Whatever. If you like snakes, there you go. There's a cobra. Now, moving on, he did another Dracula piece in this line. Completely different than his other Dracula pieces that I've shown you. This is much more bat-human hybrid fusion. And McFarlane, for some reason, went through this phase where it was just like all these little chains. Like chains on everything, and this is no exception. This Dracula has chains all over him. It's weird, but it's an interesting detail as well. And then you look at it and you go, hey, let's hang some bats on some chains. I don't know what that means. I don't know why that is, but it was a decision that was made, and it's kind of interesting. Now, if we swing around here and look at the cape, look at the detailing in the cape. It looks like skin that has been sewn together, kind of Ed Geinish-like, leather-facey. And the feet, look at the feet there, kind of bat humanoid type feet. A lot of detail in this. Really cool little vampire Dracula. Now, if we take a little bit more look at the detail, I'm going to take the cape off. The cape does come off, and we'll look at a little more detail in that if we spin it around. Now you can really see the stitching in it. And this is kind of a little rubbery, flexible cape, and I guess that's maybe some bat skin or bat claws or bat something. I don't know. But a neat little cape. And when you spin Dracula around here, you see he's rocking the mullet. Look at that, the Transylvanian mullet, big time. And he has these little holes in his back because you can attach things to him, primarily like these little hooks that are hanging off of him. And you can make him, I don't know, a Cenobite maybe. It's Cenobite Dracula hanging by the chains, just like that right there. Hooks go in there. But a neat little version of Dracula, different. And then here we go. Here's a good one. I'm a Frankenstein monster fan, and I love those from set 1 and 2. So he did in set 3 this interpretation of the Frankenstein monster, and again, great detailing. Paint job, not so much, but detailing in the sculpt, very cool. I'm not so sure about the whole half robotic thing, but and notice again more chains. So a lot of Cenobite thing. And this thing hooked to his head is, I'm not sure what exactly this is, but it's sort of some sort of cage apparatus that he carries the skeleton around on his back. And I love the skeleton because the skeleton painting and sculpture is even better than the Frankenstein monster. If you look here, just look at that rib cage. I mean, look at the detail in the rib cage, the bones. Here's the front of the rib cage, and look at the face even. The face is super detailed. It looks like a rotting skeleton. So I love him. He's one of my favorites there, the interpretation of the Frankenstein monster. So there you have it, a look back at the first 3 series of McFarlane's monsters and his unique reimagining of the classic Universal monsters. Maybe you haven't seen them before, maybe it's been a long time, but always really cool to look at those. He did such a great job. And like I said earlier, they just went on to do more and more series of those, which led into the very popular movie Maniacs line, which we've featured on some past episodes as well. So I hope you liked looking at this overview of the first 3 series of McFarlane monsters. If you did like the video, just click on that little like button. And also, while you're at it, click on that little subscribe button, or as they say in the YouTube world, smash that subscribe, whatever that means. And join me here for more videos in the future. So thanks for watching.